Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, come one, come all, and witness something not too shabby this time around. This is my favorite version of the Fury Druid. It is like lower end of the high tier gear. It has a total of two low runes invested, one in a grief, one in a fortitude. We're gonna go and do our typical run through of my gear, of the skill loadout, and then we're going to do a Chaos Sanctuary run and a Veil run. And I'm going to show you the kill speed and their overall durability, and then give some final thoughts. So without further ado, I'll get my ugly mug out of the way here, shrink it down a little bit, jump into the game, and off we go. So, we have, first off, a grief. This is the same one that you've seen me use a couple other times, and it's the only one that I have, so it jumps around between characters. Generally speaking, you shouldn't really need more than one, maybe two, of any particular item. And you can just shuffle it around your characters, especially easily now with the shared stash. So, a grief, we all know it, we all love it. It's darn close to best in slot for a lot of things. So, we have a Gillem's face with some increased attack speed and some enhanced damage. I love this helmet. It's great. Not really a whole lot to say about it that I haven't already, that a lot of people haven't already. So, moving on. High Lord's Wrath. Uh, Pretty self-explanatory. One to all skills, 20% increased attack speed, and deadly strike based on character level with some lightning resist thrown in there for good measure. Wonderful amulet. I use it on pretty much all of my physical builds. Slight change up. This shield gives 20% deadly strike. So why wouldn't you use it in this case? You don't need better than that. If you want, you can socket it, put a 15 IAS, 15 all resist in it. You could go with that same route on this, and that's an extra, 30% to all resistances if you need them, plus the increased attack speed, which with the new werewolf speed calculator that they brought in 2.4, it is beneficial to actually put increased attack speed on your other items now, instead of it just being on your weapon. So we've got Laying of Hands, because they're just the standard issue PVM, PVE, best in slot. 20 IAS, 350% damage to demons, and 50% fire resist. Great gloves. A Raven Frost, pretty much anyone will do. You're going mostly just for the cannot be frozen. The rest of the stats are just gravy. Got Nosferatu's Coil, increased attack speed, lifesteal, a little bit of slow target, and some strength. Good belt. Very underrated. Most people don't even bother with it, but for this particular build, whereas it's, primarily PVM, PVE, you're not going up against other players, this works quite well. Manald Heal, because I needed Mana Leech. It is an integral part of any, physical damage dealing build, and you should definitely have it. I have Gore Riders, because additional Deadly Strike and Crushing Blow. Great boots. Once you get up to a high enough level where this maxes out, then you can swap these out for what the hell were they? I don't remember what they're called. Goblin Toes. And those will give you an extra 10% chance of crushing blow, which that is the whole point of this build. But before I get too far into that, last piece of gear is a fortitude. This and the grief go together like peanut butter and jelly. It's, as far as I can tell, best in slot. This one I got a lucky roll on the resistances. and the life rolled halfway up. This was my first low rune that I ever found. I horked it out of a cow with my barbarian. I was very excited. And then the second low rune I ever found, I put in a grief, and it rolled a 40 increased attack speed. Not that great on the damage, but I'm much happier about having the increased attack speed because it's better for hitting breakpoints on everything. So, moving on, we've got some charms. These are all just charms that I've found while playing. This I ended up actually getting for free off of somebody. It was just a random, here you go. So, I took it. Why not? An Annihilus that I traded a Stone of Jordan for. It's not that great, but it works. Some more resistance and random stat charms. Then a little bit of damage, some extra life. A little more damage, more life, more damage. And so on. For my stats, 125 base, 100 base, and then you just dump the rest into vitality. You don't have the shield so much for blocking as you do for the other stats. So your block rate isn't that important on this build. Plus, druids are notoriously bad with their block rate, unfortunately. But they make up for it in other ways. So now we're coming over to the actual skill part of it. You're going to max out your werewolf and your lycanthropy. You're going to come down. You're going to initially only put one into feral rage, one into rabies, and one into fury. Then you're going to come over. You max out. You can take your pick, either Oak Sage or Heart of Wolverine. It's mostly a personal preference. I just like having the extra damage and attack rating. So you can do that, or you can have a boatload more life. We're talking like, if you play it right, somewhere around 8,000 life, which is just nasty. But, like I said, I go with the Heart of Wolverine because I prefer that over Heart of the Oak. And then once you get that maxed out, you come over and you can put into other things like Cyclone Armor. That'll give you a little bit extra resistance, basically. It absorbs damage. But personally, I prefer to just put it into Feral Rage because that's what I keep on my right click because I play on PC. It helps with your life stealing and your rate of movement quite a bit. So that's what I put the rest of my points into when I'm running this build. And you just, otherwise you don't put anything into your elemental tree because you don't need to. And as I was saying, you could definitely use better resistances if you put a couple of 15s in here. That'll give you another 30, so you'd actually end up being maxed out. But I don't have those, and as you can see, I'm only level 79 with this build. So we're gonna go and we're gonna kill Diablo. And we're just going to walk up and we're going to slap him and everything around him. Just slap him around. Check it later. And the exploration process is why I like Feral Rage, because it gives you that extra boost of movement. It's like 52%. Or, no, what was the movement speed? 47%. And as usual, this is players 1 on BattleNet. Just soloing. That's how I do 99.9% of all of my gameplay. Unless I'm horking, and then I'm jumping into as many cow games as I can get my grubby little mitts on, because I can hork up a storm. Yeah, we need to kill them. They're just little ones. And you come up through here, do the usual. And just every now and then, once you get your Feral Rage built up, just click on them again, so that way it stays charged. Not gonna bother with the XP shrine because I'll just get cursed. If anything, I'll just wait until Diablo's out and then grab it, if I remember that it's there. Let's go, Toto. Oh yeah, my mercenary. He's using mostly just not that great stuff. Steel Skull with 15 IAS jewel in it, just plain 15 IAS. A Duriel Shell, very easy to get. And a Steel Pillar Warpike. You can trade for it. They're real cheap because it's not that great of a weapon, but it works. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. Does a good amount of damage. Works all day long. And I'm running Might for the aura because I'm a physical damage dealer. Oh yeah. He's dead. My alternative weapon, just to get the enchant when you kill an enemy. You can put it in a much better weapon, and it's actually a really solid budget weapon if you put it in like a Thresher. Then it does well over the damage of this, but has much better stats. But I don't have that currently, unfortunately. And don't forget Feral Rage, because that steals a boatload of life and really helps you in the long run with survivability. And there goes my Merc. And here you see, you don't even need him. Or summon your guy when he dies. Blech, can't talk today. It's not the fastest clear speed in the world, but it's reliable and, for the most part, pretty safe. Eek. Good time for that to happen, huh? Nice thing about having a mercenary, too, is they're a bit of a distraction when something like that happens. So I'm going to go resurrect it. I mean, you should always give yourself the most advantage that you can, legitimately. Oh. That experience shrine because I did remember it. Now we're gonna go slap around Diablo with relative ease. And without my Merc's aura at that. Oh no, it's up. Never mind. That came up pretty quick. So, that's Diablo. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Right? Let's see what Bale has in store for us. Or if we die en route. Because that has happened before. You just get clustered and there's nothing you can do. On the wrong weapon. That makes sense. Eek. Sometimes you just gotta get out of dodge, though. Especially with minion black souls. Crikey. This is why you want good resistances, boys and girls. So again, relatively safe. You do got to pay attention a little bit, not to get yourself into too sticky of a situation, but it's not easy mode like a paladin or a barbarian. Hey, a level. Let's put that in. Poison hurts. Ah, 47, that's why. All poison. Crap. Yeah, we're gonna just try and run past them. That's the only downside about not really doing much in the way of elemental damage is you come across things that are immune to physical and you really just gotta keep on trucking and run right through them. Where some other builds fare much better about it than this one does. But as you can see, you can kill them, but it's a very slow, arduous process, and you're not able to steal any life off them in the time being. Ow. That hurt. Yeah, no, this is why having solid resistances is key. Sometimes you just gotta run through the pack. There it is. And easy peasy. Not really much to say about it at this point. I mean, it just kills things quite effectively. And at the cost of what? 2 low runes? Realistically? Yeah, low runes aren't super easy to get, but they're not impossible. And to be able to basically just run the entire game after getting 2 pieces of gear, that's fantastic. Oh, nice. Knocked me out of werewolf. So be a little bit more careful. But that's the general gist of it in any case. You can do it. I was just dumb. So we'll do some final thoughts. I'll get my body after I'm done recording the video. It's fine. I don't mind. As you can see, it's not indestructible. You do gotta play kind of smart. You can't just jump in because you don't have the 8,000 life that I had mentioned earlier. There are better gear loadouts that you can put on it. I think that a ethereal death decapitator would be absolutely disgusting on a fury druid, and I think that that's probably what I'm going to end up doing with my hybrid summon fury druid when I get there, because I've tested it in single and it's, as I said, disgusting. So play smart, don't do what I did, and you can clear everything in the game. I haven't tried it on the Ubers or Declone, but I imagine that as long as I play smart, I'll do just fine. And you should be able to as well. So, all that being said, if you like the video, please hit like and subscribe. It does a lot to help me out in the long run. And I will see you all next time.